All right, so Joe Manchin has now come out and done an interview since Kamala lost the election. And man, does this get under my skin. What you're about to see really gets under my skin. So, of course, he's going to portray himself as the hero, as the protagonist, as the person who has all the answers. And he's going to blame other Democrats and shit on the Democratic Party and all this stuff. Let's listen to it, and then I'll tell you guys the reality of the situation, which is the exact opposite of what Joe Manchin is saying.
You don't give a damn about the working person anymore. You care about people that aren't working. Don't try to make me mainstream something that's not mainstream America. It's not what we should be teaching in our schools or what you should think my family is not right enough or we don't believe like you. Don't get into that part of my life. I can handle that.
Does the Democratic Party at its upper echelon have an intolerance problem?
For people like me?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why I left.
Wow. So in other words, oh, the Democratic Party is so intolerant of centrists like me. That's why I left. This man, there are two people who are most responsible for Kamala Harris's loss that are not Kamala, Biden, and Trump. Right? You could say they're at the top for obvious reasons. But there are two people who, had they not done what they did, Kamala Harris very likely would have won. One of them is Kyrsten Sinema. The other one is Joe Manchin. Joe, this is your party. The Democratic Party is exactly the Democratic Party you've always wanted, and it's been the case from 1992 until 2024. Okay? There were minor breakaways from his ideal model in the Biden years on economics. Minor breakaways. But this is your party. And now you're whining. He thinks the Democratic Party is intolerant of centrists? Go talk to literally any progressive, any lefty in this country, and they will laugh in your face if you say that. Because the idea that it's been my ideal party as a lefty for any amount of time now is preposterous. It's preposterous. I can tell you the exact things I want the government to do and what I want the Democratic Party to stand for. And by the way, if they did those things, I think they would win, as far as the eye can see. I want it to be FDR's party again. That's what I want. Joe Manchin doesn't. Joe Manchin, okay, so let's walk through this. He says, problem with the Democrats is they don't give a damn about the working person anymore. Joe Manchin, him and Kyrsten Sinema are the two people who are responsible for nuking the original Build Back Better bill. What was the original Build Back Better bill? It had paid family leave, child care, universal pre-K, free community college. It expanded Medicare. It had a higher minimum wage. It lowered all prescription drug prices, not just some, and it expanded the child tax credit. In other words, it was the biggest transformation of our economy since the New Deal, and it was the whole point of the bill was geared towards helping out working Americans. That was the whole point. And Joe Manchin nuked it. He nuked it. He decided, I don't like that because it's too far left. Well, hold on now. You just said Democrats abandon the working person. This was the bill for working people. And you called it too far left. You said it was too extreme. Too extreme because, oh, you're helping the working person too much. Which is it, Joe? You can't have it both ways. And did you notice what he said there? He said, you don't give a damn about the working person. You care about people who aren't working. This is a head fake to the 1980s Ronald Reagan trope of the welfare queens and the lazy moochers who sit back and use our generous social safety net unfairly. We don't even have a generous social safety net in this country. It doesn't exist. As far as the developed nations go, we have one of the weakest social safety nets. The idea that there's all these lazy people who are just sitting back and just waiting for a handout, that's utter nonsense. By the way, you know who's not working in this country? Disabled people, children, elderly people. That's who's not working. Now, are you want to position yourself as against those communities, Joe Manchin? Because his idea of some like working age person who's just lazy and sits on the couch all day, that's not a thing. They've literally done studies on universal basic income. Remember in Stockton, California, the mayor did one of those studies, and come to find out, people didn't take that money and go sit on the couch. They took that money and they paid the fucking light bill, or they paid for food, or they paid for medicine. It freed some people up to leave one job and go to a different job, which paid them more money, right? So this is nonsense. Democrats don't give a damn about the working person. They care about people who aren't working. That's what he said. Which, by the way, let's ask Joe Manchin. So are you like against unemployment insurance? Because in your mind, if somebody's unemployed, they're just a lazy, do-nothing asshole? Are you against? Is that what you're against? Are you against unemployment insurance? People like Joe Manchin look at the unemployment rate, and when there's a recession and the unemployment rate goes up, he genuinely thinks like, that 10% of people are incredibly lazy. No, idiot. These are macroeconomic factors which screw some people over and make it so they lose their job, and they're trying to find another one, but they can't, right? God, he's such an asshole. Again, I want to reiterate, this is the most important point, guys. This is the most important point. Joe Manchin is responsible for Donald Trump winning in 2024. Kyrsten Sinema is responsible for Donald Trump winning in 2024. Had the Democrats passed the original Build Back Better bill, Kamala would have won. Because that would have been immediate relief for working class people. So he nuked the bill for working class people. Then he has the nerve to turn around and say, Democrats don't give a damn about the working person. He has the nerve to say that. By the way, are you implying that Trump does care about the working person? Is that what you're implying? Because this is a guy who massively cut taxes for the wealthy and corporations. This is a guy who oversaw the outsourcing of 200,000 manufacturing jobs when the Democrats brought back 800,000. This is a guy who presided over a loss of 2.9 million jobs. This is a guy who oversaw 3 million Americans losing their health insurance. This is a guy who appointed more billionaires and Wall Street CEOs than any president in history. This is a guy who filled the NLRB with union busters. This is a guy whose labor department stiffed 8 million workers of overtime pay. Really, is this the argument you're going to make? Imply that Trump is pro-worker and the Democrats are not pro-worker, even though you're the one who's not pro-worker? You're the one who nuked the workers' bill? God, I hate this man so much. I hate this man so much. Look, you want to know what his solution is for the future for the Democrats? Be more like me, Joe Manchin. Even though you are responsible for Trump winning. In his mind, he wants centrist, pro-corporate policies. He wants the Democrats to act like the Republicans on economic issues. And then on social issues, he wants the Democrats to be more like the Republicans. I'm sure he wants to throw immigrants under the bus more, throw trans people under the bus more, split the difference on abortion. Like, this is what he wants. This is what he wants. So in other words, he wants to exacerbate all of the problems that got us where we are now. Again, you can blame him and you can blame Kyrsten Sinema for Democrats losing the 2024 election. If that Build Back Better bill passed, Kamala Harris would have won. And here he is, portraying himself like he has all the answers and saying absurd things about how Democrats don't give a damn about the working person. You don't give a damn about the working person. You are the problem. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.